to understand humanity, we have to go back to the beginning, beyond all of those things, from the point of our origin, the point of where we started. Now, science tells you, oh, it's the Big Bang. Religion and spirituality tells you, oh, it's God, and none of them can come to any kind of agreement. They're both saying, no, we're the right one. But what if both of them were two sides of the same coin? So, if we look at this image here, I'll get out of the way, safely. Right, if we look at this image here, you have this point here. This point is where it all started. Science calls that point the singularity, right? Which is the point of origin where all creation, or time, or space, everything came from. But religion tells you this point is also God and Allah, or Jah, the creator, source, whatever you call the one that navigates all things. They are the same thing, with different identities, different titles, different names, different ways of looking and understanding those things. And it came to a point in time where that singularity within itself decided, I need to be more. I need to become more. I have to do more. And in a fraction of a second, it expanded. And that expansion, that moment, was the Big Bang. That particular moment was the Big Bang. And remember your science lessons. These are elements. This is what makes us up. This is us. If you were to break down the human body to its finest point, you're just going to get a whole bunch of iron. We tell you, eat your greens, get your iron. You're going to get all your sodium. They tell you need salt in your body to make sure things work. You're going to get your potassium to make sure your heart works. You're going to get your copper and everything else. This is what we are made up of. That's right. Why we are matter, we are energy, and we are elemental beings. We are stardust. We are very literally stardust. We are from the energy has the ability to cause motion. Remember, emotion is energy in motion. Remember we started here at the beginning, the atom. Then we became a molecule. A molecule, two or more atoms bonded together. That's what we are. We are molecules come together. What do we have in our body? We need oxygen to breathe. We need water to survive. Then you get the macromolecules, which are the bigger parts of us. We always talk about, oh, make sure you've got enough carbs in your diet. Make sure you've got lipids. Make sure you've got your proteins and whatnot. And the DNA. If you're not eating the right things, your DNA is going to be boxed up and then you're going to manifest disease in your body. And all of that comes together to make up the cell, which is the smallest structure but the biggest functional part of your body. If any one cell is not working the way it should be, everything's gone wrong, because that's all cancer is. It's one cell that is defective. So it's one cell that either you're not feeding it what it needs to be fed, your DNA is not receiving what it needs to be received, and that is causing one part of your body, that small part, to now take over and cause chaos in the rest of your being. If you don't know, chakras are energy centers in the body. These are the points that you can see right here of your chakras. You have 7 bodies are layers of your aura, which is also referred to in science as your electromagnetic field or your biofield. Aura, electromagnetic field, biofield, same thing, different. So you have your lower chakras to start with. You have your root chakra, your sacral chakra, and you have your solar plexus chakra. These things dwelling in it, if your subtle bodies have got all of these things dwelling in it, you are not going to be able to function the way you should. It's not going to be possible. Physiology, you've got the physiology of the body, of stress. Now, all of these factors that affect your body are stress. Your body sees things as a stressor. It doesn't know, oh, this thing is not a stressor. It doesn't know, oh, I've got this deadline at work. Your body doesn't know that. All it knows is I'm stressed, so now we need to create a stress response. That HPAA, which is your hypothalamus and pituitary glands, they navigate most of your body. I'm talking from diabetes to thyroid problems to low sperm count to fibroids. All of these things are navigated by cortisol. Because when cortisol, which is your stress hormone, is being told, hey, we've got a stressor, we haven't dealt with all of this energy, it's going to start telling your body, okay, produce more cortisol. But when it produces more cortisol, which is a stress response, that's going to lead to a change in your testosterone, that's going to lead to a change in your estrogen, that's going to lead to a change in your progesterone. And so now we're sitting here wondering, well, why do I have these fibroids? Why do I have these cysts? Why do I have low testosterone? Why is my sperm count low? It's because you haven't dealt with all of those energies in your energy field, and your body's trying to communicate with you, hey, we have things that cannot be seen that need to be dealt with. But if you're not choosing to address them, your body's going to keep on malfunctioning. And though these two things work together, it works the same way for your gut. Your gut has the enteric nervous system, which is completely independent of your nervous system. And you've got your gut telling you, this man ain't right. You've got your sperm going low because this woman's causing you stress. You've got your estrogen going off the chain, so now you've got the fibroids. You've got your stress off the wall because you're feeling anxiety. Meanwhile, you're staying in these situations and you're saying, all I need to do is eat better. All I need to go is go and cut this thing out of my body. All I need to do is go and take a little bit more of that herb. Meanwhile, what you need to do is rearrange your life and realign your energy and understand the reality is the reptilian brain is a part of us. It's part of our natural evolution. We have that. Problem is we are stuck in reptilian brain mode because we are stuck in survival mode. And so the issue is that the limbic brain, that is full of emotional intelligence, is not being used. The limbic brain was supposed to sit with our thoughts, sit with our feelings, sit with experiences and process them. And as we process them, you will find that you come out of fight or flight, you start to put memories and emotions to a point, and then your gut brain is then recalibrated. So instead of constantly feeling that anxiety, instead of constantly feeling that worry and concern, you will find that what you have is you're regulating yourself. And so if we consider right now, globally as a people, if a black man's walking down the street, he sees a police officer, he's already got his guard up. He's already thinking, oh shit, you might never see this Fed a day in your life, but your body perceives the Fed, the uniform, the institution as a threat. So now, that is a trauma response because you yourself may not have been attacked by that Fed, but we see it on the news. You might have had parents and uncles and cousins that have had these experiences. So you know, at the best of times, I might get stopped and talked to. Worst case scenario, I might die tonight. You don't know anything in between that. That's a trauma response because of the chronic, which is long-term stress from a single repeated stressor. So even though we're in England, we're seeing them do madness in America, you know that it's not that far removed because we have our own tales to tell here. So your body has not resolved the trauma and that energy is now stored in your subtle body. It's now stored in your aura, in your energetic field. And until you've resolved that, you're going to get the anxiety you feel when you walk past the Fed. That paranoia of, I don't know if I should wear this because they might see me in a certain way. You're not going to be able to trust the system. You're going to have those insecurities. You're not even emotionally regulated because you're angry and worried about the fact that you cannot do your innate things like provide and protect because the system is working against you, stopping you from doing those things. And so what do? You just end up letting it how you know. What are the man them told to do? Yeah, as many women as you want. While you're young, YOLO, do it, young, wild and free. You're trying to pour out that energy of pain and trauma through sexual expression, and it's blocking you from being your higher self because you're not actually dealing with the trauma. You're not dealing with the stress. So your body's in that constant cycle of stress, and it's affecting how we interpret information because your mental body hasn't transmuted this information into something else. And so now where you're now seeing the Fed, you're not understanding that it's a systematic problem. You're just seeing the Fed. You haven't yet understood you're not the problem. You're thinking maybe I should change the way I wear, the way I dress. Maybe I should change my friendship group. Maybe I need to look a certain type of way. You're not the problem. Your environment is the problem, but you haven't allowed your body to interpret that data, to process the emotion, to resolve the trauma, and to put yourself in a de-stressful situation. And all of that just manifests as disease, as we just mentioned. We've got the inflammation, the reproductive issues. You're going to have all these gut issues. You're going to the doctor all the time. And we see it and we hear it. Black men have a shorter lifespan. Not because anything's wrong, but because the situation that they're living in is a stressful one. So as we go through the lower chakras, we then have the heart chakra, which is the bridge between the lower and upper chakras. And it's located in your chest. It's linked to compassion, to love, to relationships, and to intimacy that is non-sexual intimacy particularly. This layer is connected to your astral body, and it's all about getting rid of your karmic patterns. It's all about past life and genetic information and disease into your consciousness, generational trauma, generational curses, and inherited disease. If you do not have an awareness of your ancestral lineage, which is often the time in our community because of our own history that we have, it is your responsibility to know where you came from. Yes, we have got links to other heritage, i.e. Caribbean heritage, or non-traditional African heritages because of our history, but you have to understand where you came from in order to know how you're supposed to be operating. Because if you don't know where you came from, how do you know where you're going? When you then know where you come from, you're able to understand the generational trauma behind you that is trapped in your astral body that needs to be transmuted. The base chakra is connected to your heart-brain axis, which is a system that works with your limbic system and your cardiovascular system to bring the two together to, again, alert you, hey, something's going on. So if you're not dealing with those ancestral things, what do we see today? High blood pressure is constant in the community. It's a big problem. Cardiac diseases are a big problem, mostly because we're not dealing with the things that came before us. You cannot dissociate from it. You don't have to want to believe it. You don't have to understand it. Even religion tells us all the time, these things are not real. But by ignoring it doesn't make it go away, and that's something we need to be prepared to accept. Your astral body will attempt to stimulate generational and past life healing by triggering your limbic system, your emotional system into processing. But when you resist this change, that's what leads to a stress response. You have to address your ancestral lineage. When you're looking at it from the top down, your ancestral lineage stuff has to be addressed, your present trauma stuff has to be addressed, your sexual trauma has to be addressed, your intuitive trauma that you haven't even listened to intuition because you were told not to, all of it has to be addressed. One thing not being addressed leads to a block to every other thing in the pathway. Now, the easiest way to deal with that throat chakra stuff is through the breath. If we consider how many times we're told not to speak our truth, hold your peace so somebody else can have their peace. Don't say nothing because you're seen as intimidating. Your respiratory system is part of your cardiovascular system. If you haven't spoken it, your heart's going to feel it. And that's why you say, I've got something on my chest. Because you haven't let that breath out. The breath comes out when we speak, when we let oxygen out. It's not oxygen, that we're letting out. It's carbon dioxide, which we know is bad for the body. So if that thing has to come out and it's already bad for the body when we look at it on a chemical level, then why would it be good for the body on an energetic level? You have to speak that truth, right? Trapped energy that's held in the lungs and throat is going to cause stress. And that stress is going to transmute to your thyroid. All of this is connected to your thyroid gland. What do we see in the community? Black women have higher levels of thyroid issues than their counterparts. Why? Because when the black woman speaks, you're too loud, you're too angry, you're too scary. And so what's going to happen? Your thyroid is now going to be affected through that hypothalamus pituitary gland. I told you. That cortisol. You've got to get that stress under control. Because the body doesn't know, oh, it's a stressor, you have to keep the peace to make the money. It just knows that that manager was a dickhead, excuse my language. You've got to let that out. So now when you're not letting it out, what's going to happen? You've got the high thyroid, the low thyroid, maybe even cancers in the community. So, and then when you look at the pineal gland, you're able to see, it's an eye. It's very literally sensitive to sunlight. It's sensitive to sunlight, and that's how it produces serotonin. But what did we talk about before? Intuition on your gut. Your gut bacteria produces serotonin. Doesn't matter how much sunlight you see, if you haven't dealt with understanding the data being interpreted by hair, it can only send so much information through the body to try and get serotonin. But if your gut bacteria isn't in a position to transmute that information and give you that boost of serotonin, you're still going to feel low because you haven't dealt with regulating the bacteria. The bacteria is life. Bacteria is alive, right? That's why they say you kill bacteria. You have to navigate those bacteria that live within you. They have a job to try and tell you something. Don't run from them and say we need to get rid of. Not all bacteria is bad bacteria. You have to keep them and navigate them. And when you understand your pineal gland, you understand it has calcite crystals which generate an electric charge and allow for you to be sensitive to electromagnetic fields. That's how listen to your body. It's more than just, oh, I want to take a rest day today, or I want to go and eat that cake. It's more than that. It's actually allowing your body to generate the information you need to help you be who you're supposed to be and get to where you're supposed to get to. Your crown is all about your integumentary system, which is your skin, hair, and nails. We all know they tell us, don't like black skin. Don't appreciate your hair. We be boxing up our hair. Why? Because it's trying to tell you something. Your nervous system communicates through your hair follicles. When you're in a space and the space feels off, what happens? You get goosebumps. And your hair follicles then communicate for your hair to stand up. Your hair is alive. Nothing that's dead grows. When it's dead, it stops growing. Yet your hair grows, right? We all know it. You cut your hair, you trim your hair, it will continue to grow. If it doesn't grow, there's a problem that you need to address. The nervous system is your brain, your spinal cord, and all of your nerves. And through that, the two systems come together to communicate things with you. You understand that your melanin is made of carbon. It's carbon element table. We've already been through all of that. So your body is communicating, your hair is communicating something. The energy around you, in the air around you, the ether around you, it's detected by your hair. Sometimes you get that tingle. You feel it on your skin, you feel it on your body, because something is being communicated and it's being transmuted. The energy around you, the electrical energy, is being transmuted into chemical energy to let your body know, to tell you, get out of here, to tell you, you don't belong here, to tell you, it's time to move differently. Whether or not you obey that command, that's a different situation. That's where we get the Kundalini energy, and where everything flows in oneness. When you're open and able to accept that you are one, that there is no separation to you and everything. Because remember, when we came from the singularity, if you came from the singularity, which is one, why would you now be something separate and different to that one thing? You're able to flow, your chakras are able to flow, your Kundalini energy is able to flow through your chakras, from your base to your crown and back again. We see it, we understand it. There's that flow of constant energy. And it allows you to access dimensions beyond the 3D, beyond the physical. You're able to experience other realities. That's where you start looking at Christ consciousness and that awareness and what that actually means. What the Bible was trying to tell you. What awareness means beyond just seeing and understanding. And you're able to manifest your reality where you know yourself as God and Goddess. It's not just about me saying, yes, I'm God and Goddess because I was the original man or the original woman or because black people came first. It's an awareness of who you are, because you are, because I am. Because you came from the universe. You are creation. You are creation because you were created with the creative energy. And so if that energy is the very essence of who you are, how are you not the creator? How are you not able to create something else? How are you not able to manifest something else? When that manifestation started from a singular point that still exists but has manifested itself in everything that is around you. Okay? So Kundalini energy can only be accessed and understood when you've gone through your personal traumas in this life, when you've learned sexual discipline, when you've listened to your body and data interpretation, when you listen to your heart and deal with the things of the past of your ancestors, when you've spoken your truth and you speak unapologetically to be who you are, when you follow the vision that only you are given and only you can see, that no one else is meant to see, and when you take in the information around you and you stop, pause and accept yourself as one, as God. If you don't do that, don't matter how much you eat, how much you drink, how much gym you bang, how many walks you go on, you can go to sleep at 10 and wake up at 6. If you haven't done the energy work and you haven't transmuted this, your body's still going to manifest a disease.